My cute and lovely Pisces, this is your horoscope for November 2024. And November welcomes us with new moon in your ninth house. First November, we have new moon that is supported with Saturn, by Saturn. Saturn is a planet of responsibilities, hard work, and restrictions. And it is happened to be in your first house, giving you deeply transformative lessons. Now, that Saturn will support new moon, which will happen in your ninth house. Seems like in the beginning of November, you might be traveling somewhere where you might enjoy or possibly totally move or relocate and start living, because that's how you might love and fell in love that place that you're gonna visit in the beginning of November or around this date. Now, ninth house is also about education. For some of you guys, there might be like educational programs starting. If that is the case, then those skills that you're gonna learn during this courses and your degree, for example, they will stay with you forever. They will be helpful because Saturn is exactly planet of hard work and age. It's a planet of time. So those skills will stay with you almost forever, my dear Pisces. Whatever you're going to start around this new moon will be perfect, actually, base, because then we'll have a solid base, because then you might build even more better things on that solid ground that this new moon is laying in front of you. Now, ninth house is also house of legal, affairs. If that's your case, like if you're in a legal process, then there might be news regarding that process, or there you might actually start that legal process around this new moon. Now, ninth house is also all about our teachers, our mentors, searching for meaning of life. And it seems like November will be the month when you will start seeing life differently, or you might meet someone who will transform your life and who you will regard as your mentor or teacher of, let's say, belief systems or religion, because that's what the ninth house is. Also, it's about publishing. For some of you guys, it might be about book or work. If you are a researcher, then it's an article or your research. It might see the light finally around this new moon, about which you will be proud and about which you will be happy, and that work will stay and bring positive contributions to the world too, and possibly forever, will stay in the bookshelves, which is amazing. Now, if that work is not published yet, then this new moon is perfect to start looking for editor or a publishing house. This is amazing new moon to start anything that is on your mind, my dear Pisces. For the most of the month, we have Pluto opposing Mars. This opposition signifies a bit of a tension between you and your friend, for example, or a business partner, or it might be your children, one or two your kids, if you have them, because Mars is exactly in your children's house and Pluto in your friendship house. From here, I might not know with whom you have there a bit of a tension, but those groups of people that I mentioned are more like targeted with these two planets. Now, this opposition will be exact on 3rd November, so to try to avoid 3rd November for any important deals and any important meetings, and in love and in business, and even to postpone on 4th November too. So better to do it on 5th November. Now, anyhow, this opposition will be active whole month until a couple of days even of December, but still try to avoid 3rd to 4th November. But bunch of other planets will try to save that relationship between you and your friends or your children or business partners. Now, Neptune, Uranus, and Mercury, those three will try to mediate between those two planets, Pluto and Mars, by sending positive vibrations to them. And it seems like in this case, universe is telling you that communication will be the key for you, because Uranus is exactly in the third house and Neptune in your first house. Use your imagination and your communication skills to sort out the problem there, whatever will be a problem about, my dear Pisces. November 4th is one of the biggest transits. Mars is changing sign, moving into your sixth house, house of work, daily activities, our schedule, our routine, and also house of health. Now, for some of you guys, Mars, will be in your sixth house for the next 2 months or even more until next year summer, because Mars is set to retrograde in December, meaning pause, slow down, and move backwards. So it will be a couple of times going your sixth house, meaning it's giving, universe is trying to make you pay attention to this part of your life. Now, sixth house is all about work. There will be quite a lot of work assignments, it seems like. You will be quite busy at work, some of you, and some of you, it might be about your health, because sixth house is our well-being house. And it seems like, Mars is a planet of all things sharp, including surgical knives. So here, some of you guys might actually undergo some surgeries. If that is the case, no worries on that. It just, the universe is trying you to pay attention to your, well-being. That is the meaning of this Mars in your sixth house. Also, sixth house is obligation, taking responsibilities and solving problems. Our skills of solving problems house. Seems like Mars will give you all the power to overcome whatever obstacle you will have there around those, issues, daily issues. And plus, because it's a daily house, like everyday life, our routine, what's your schedule, Mars here seems like will make it more brighter. You might go and sign up to gym, for example. Some of you guys might start exercising actively while Mars will be in the sixth house. That is amazing to have Mars in that position. Now, 15th of November will be, two important transits happening. Saturn, planet of work, discipline, and responsibilities, that is in your first house, already a year and a half, and it still has a year and a half to go, will go direct. Now, it was retrograde since 29th of June, almost for a half year, giving you sort of retrospective thoughts around your self-image, what you are portraying to the world. Because first house is our appearance, how you look like, for example. Saturn here might have given you quite a lot of transformative thoughts about your look, about your appearance, about your fashion, for example, about your style, what kind of clothes you wear. And first house is a house of our plans, who we are at core, and your wishes, your priorities, and how people treat me and how I treat myself. This kind of house. So all these topics were quite active in your life during Saturn retrograde, more on a level of like mental level, spiritual awareness level, and spiritual growth kind of level. But now when Saturn goes direct, it will not stop, of course, there. It will give you right tools to transform yourself and take right action, because Saturn here wants you to concentrate on you, on yourself, and give you a couple of lessons. When it goes direct, you might finally make up your mind and take some decisions, like changing your style or body weight, your appearance, something in your appearance, or even how people call you, like your name, your surname. There might be sort of changes there, still happening in the next year and a half. Now, November 15th, another thing happening, we have full moon in your third house. Third house is all about communication, and it's also our courage house. And full moon here suggests that, something is coming to an end or culmination to something in your life, or putting a spotlight on something in your life. And this full moon will have a surprise effect because it will conjunct Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet of surprises and shock. It's amazing one. This full moon is amazing because, that surprise will be positive. You will love that surprise. Seems like there is a deal to sign, surprising deal to sign, and you will be extremely happy about that. So feels like your wish came true around this full moon. Or for some of you guys, it might be about your siblings or neighbors or relatives, because third house rules those people. Something happening in their life could make you surprised and positively actually shocked. Or third house is also house of skills, some courses, some short trainings. You might take up some training, or you might finish some training, which will be sort of a dream came true to you, but it will have this surprising moment to you, and it seems like something very positive coming on your way, my dear Pisces. Now, third house is also house of short distance travels. Here, there might be there is a travel happening again in a surprising way, but that travel was long in your heart and on your mind, and you finally might travel somewhere that you've been wishing to travel for a long time, my dear Pisces. November 19th, Pluto will move into your 12th house. This is the biggest transit of our century, not even November, because Pluto changing signs for the next 20 years. Last 16 to 15 years, it was in your 11th house, transforming it unrecognizably. 11th house is all about our future plans, our wishes, and how we see our future. Pluto gave you here quite hard lessons, harsh lessons, because Pluto is a deeply transformative planet, and it seems like your wishes might have gone through a lot of changes, and in general your future, like the picture of your future. But now Pluto will move into your 12th house for the next 20 years. Now, 12th house is all about, subconscious mind, our spiritual growth, whatever is happening behind the doors. Now, Pluto in the 12th house might give you a lot of self-digging. It's like, you might become your own psychologist sort of thing, or you might become your own therapist, because 12th house is all about that, like healing your traumas, going deeply inside yourself to find the answers to your troubles, for example. And 12th house is also all about esoterics, like spirituality, astrology, numerology. For the next, like in the next 20 years, you might be quite heavily invested in those topics. You might even study those topics, or even psychology, not necessarily like spiritual way. Now, 12th house is also house of far lands. Here, you might move somewhere. You might, couple of times with Pluto, you might finally let some roots there in far lands and call that land your home, as an example. And here 12th house is also something which is happening behind the doors, as I said, something in secret, and it might give you a sort of activities and some lessons on your privacy. Pluto here will teach you what is privacy, what is it to have privacy and not to have it, and how to be with yourself. Very content, very happy, like to stay with yourself. As Pisces, my dears, you are professionals on that, but still Pluto will give you a couple of deeper lessons here. Now, November 26th, we have Mercury going retrograde. Mercury is the planet of commerce and trade, and also communication, signing contracts. Mercury slowing down, meaning retrograding, means better not to do any plastic surgeries, sign any important papers, or any planned surgeries too. If it's unplanned and it's urgent, of course we do them, but if it's planned, better to postpone them, because we need Mercury to be sharp, because otherwise you might need to redo that, or something might be off about that, about the deal, about the surgery, whatever is that. And also because Mercury is the, as I said, planet of commerce and trade, try not to buy any electronic stuff like phones, computers. They might come with some issue after you purchase them, or you might just change your mind and not like it anymore, or not need it anymore. Not in use, could be. So anyhow, when Mercury retrogrades, all those things are a bit should be refrained from. Now, but it's happening in your 10th house. 10th house is a house of career, and it seems like some things might be frozen during Mercury retrograde in terms of your career, in terms of where you're moving next, where you're headed next, and some decisions at your work. Some people might be reluctant and hesitant in your work environment, my dear Pisces. This was your horoscope for November. Stay tuned for that huge video about Pluto moving into your 12th house, and don't forget to check your rising sign and moon sign too. Most of the cases rising sign is the strongest, but for some people it might be moon sign, because it depends on what time you were born. Still check all three of them, and then you can compare which one is affecting you the strongest, my dear Pisces. Love you all. Bye bye.